Hello everyone, Pantoufleee here today for a new review concerning the RU251, the light tank, the German one at tier 8. So, is the tank worth it or not? Clearly, as it's not in shop, I would say that probably it's one of the few Tech 3 tanks you want to keep in your garage, because it's extremely good and it will learn you how to play the light tanks. In my opinion, that's the best one to learn how to really play lights, because you have a lot of advantages that are for lights only, and a lot of disadvantage same that only light tanks will have. So, concerning the pros and the cons, let's talk about the pros. You have three main things. The first thing is the HE penetration. The HE penetration on this tank is crazy. You should load a lot of HEs on your tank because you're clearly going to use them all, especially when you're in tier 7. Because as you're going to see right now with the Tiger P when it's going to come back, you will see that yeah, you have a good penetration. Also, we can talk about the gun in general. Everything is good. The gun depression, the gun penetration, also the reload time. Honestly, that's one of the best guns at tier 8, at least in my opinion. So yeah, that's the first thing. Also, an amazing mobility. The mobility on this tank is extremely great. Of course, that's a light tank, but even if it's a light tank, it's quite mobile for a light tank. You can go up to 70 kilometers per hour, and not a lot of light tanks can do that. Now, maybe one thing you need to understand, one major thing about the tank, you don't have the same gun depression on the sides and at the front of the tank. At the front of the tank, you'll have something around maybe 6 degrees of gun depression, and on the side, you will go up to 10 degrees. So every time you're on a ridge line, try to put your tank horizontal, just for you to be able to get on the ridge line without exposing too much your tank. That's something you need to know. And of course, you have two problems with this tank. The first one is that the ammo rack is located at the front. Therefore, when you're gonna take an HE, because everybody's gonna spam HE at you, of course you're a light tank, you are probably gonna have them destroyed. And if that's the case, it's a one-shot. Also, a second thing may be the fact that you don't have any armor. And I mean, a lot of light tanks don't have armor, but this one is not even HE proof, so really be careful with this one. So yeah, that's all for the pros and the cons concerning the tank. Now, how do you want to play it? It really depends. That's why here we have three replays in which we are going to play totally different roles. Here, for example, I went for a proxy spot at the beginning and I tried to play it on the ridge line using my gun depression. That's one technique you can use with this tank. It works perfectly. It fits the tank playstyle, as you can see, 3.4k damage, ace tanker, etc, etc. But there are still others. There are other tactics we're gonna see right now. For example, here you're gonna see at the very beginning of the battle, we are gonna rush straight at the ridge line to be able to do our light job. That is spotting, but also use our great gun depression to do the same as we did previously, because with this tank, you are the eyes of your team, so try not to rush. It's useless to rush everywhere with a light tank, because if you die, your team loses their eyes. And especially on this kind of map, where clearly light tanks have an important role, because most of the time on big maps like this, people are camping, and when people are camping, to be able to spot them, you need to be when you're a light tank, you need to be here, you need to play for your team, you need to be the eyes of your team. So here, also maybe something I forgot to mention about the tank, you have an incredible camo. I think you have one of the best light camos at tier 8, if not the best, because T54 lightweight clearly is under this one. But yeah, we're not here to talk about the T54 lightweight anyway. Here you see I'm using the gun depression over the ridge line, getting shots on the K7. He spotted me once, but now I don't think I'm spotted anymore. And look at this, we're popping adrenaline, and look at this reload time we have. Look at this, we're gonna completely destroy the Yak Panther the same way we did with the K7. And I'm glad he's not looking me. I think that's the T49 who rushed. We YOLO rushed, and of course he got destroyed, because as I already told you a couple of minutes ago, it's useless to straight rush with your light tank. You don't need to rush, you need to spot at the right moment. Here, for example, I decided to drop off my position for two main reasons. The first one is that T49 and T92E1 were coming for me, and of course with HE they are gonna completely wreck me. And the second thing is that my team is trying to get on the other side, killing the Yak Panther, and I thought, hey, that's my job to get to the Yak Panther 2 to be able to spot him, and that's exactly what we did. Now we do the same with the T92E1. Is he gonna... No, he's not gonna shoot us. And yeah, that's pretty much all you have to do with this tank. Also, I know maybe a lot of you are thinking about either it's a good thing or not to enrich the RU. To answer this question, I think that you should enrich the RU only if you're a good player, because a light tank is the hardest playstyle to master in this game. And if you enrich a tank, it's to make credits, and in order to make credits with a tank you need to play it correctly. I'm not learning you anything here. So to be able to know if you want or not enrich it, just take a look at the stats you have in the tank and see if it fits or not the enrichment, because it's quite expensive on this one. I think enriching a light tank at tier 8 is something around 16,000 gold. Which is quite a lot, because with 16,000 gold you can just have a regular premium tank, which is gonna make more credits. So yeah, that was all for the enrichment section of this video. Now look at this, we're gonna change our playstyle. Now we're gonna try to play it aggressively, because I know there is only one T54 and one T92E1 remaining. I just want to spot the T54, maybe try to circle him, I don't know, using my mobility. A bit lucky here that the T92E1 bounced his HE on my gun. Now the T54 is coming to get me, and that's gonna be not a 1v1, because of course he has the T92E1 in support, and I have STI and Lorraine or AMX 5100. I think that's an AMX 5100. So yeah, now look at this. We tried the HE. I wasn't lucky because it went in the gun, but the HE could actually penetrate on the sides of the T54, and that's what makes this tank incredibly good, because with the regular APs you already have a great DPM, but if you manage to put HEs only, boy are you gonna wreck everything. You're gonna have one of the best DPMs at tier 8, because 4.9 seconds of reload for 310 alpha damage. Just do the math, guys. You have the same DPM as, for example, nearly the Object 140 at tier 10, which makes it an incredible tank to carry. If you combine both the DPM and the mobility, even if you're in a 1 versus 3 situation, if you manage to isolate one guy only, you can do great things, and that's gonna be the subject of the last replay. And here we go right now. So for the last replay, we're in tier 9. That is interesting also to show you how the tank performs when it's bottom tier. Even if for a light tank it doesn't change anything, because light tanks are made to be confronted to higher tier tanks. But yeah, what I do here, I go straight to the middle, trying to get of course, a sneaky shot at the beginning. We tried the Leo PTA, unfortunately we missed. Now I just have to come back. I'm gonna maybe try to get him with my gun depression, sees if it's possible for me to get a shot on the Leo or not. And that's gonna be our first mistake, because as you can see, we're gonna take a shot, because even if I have 10 degrees of gun depression, here it's not enough to be able to get to the Leo PTA without exposing my tank. So yeah, first shot I took, but now we are gonna be a little bit more careful on what we're doing, because we don't have the choice. If we don't do that, we're gonna die. So PTA, we can't get it, so we go for the AMX 5120. I went for a gold shell because it's angled here, and I don't have the best penetration ever with AP shells. But you're gonna see that even with the heat shells, and I don't understand why I struggled penetrating the AMX 5120. Maybe because it's the top of the turret, and the top of the turret is more angled than the rest that I can't see. But yeah, it's still a bit weird. And look at this, the gun depression we're using right now, and also of course anytime when you're playing with this tank, you stay in a position that allows you to lower your gun depression. So always try to stay vertically in front of your opponents. That's important. So now we need to move, because they have one. No, we're equal in terms of skill, but we have less hit points than they do. So extremely lucky here with the WT. So I need to get away from here. I need to get away. How am I gonna do that? That's a good question. I'm probably gonna rush away because I have the mobility 4. That's what is great with the RU. You can just get out of situations that are embarrassing, just like that. Just in a snap of fingers, you can get away with it. So now, what I'm gonna do, I already did my light support thing. So now I'm gonna play it more in a support role by trying to take some distance to avoid being spotted, thanks to my camo, and I'm gonna try to help my team from the back. We went for a first shot on the P44 Pantera. That was a high alpha roll thanks to the how is it called? The skill. That was what I was looking for. Thanks to the skill, we kill the MX. We are now in a 1 versus 4 situation. It's gonna be tough. We all know it's gonna be tough, but are we gonna be able to make it or not? I know there's the P44 Pantera. I really want to get him, and I did a great snapshot. I was quite happy with this. Thank you, RNG. Went for an HE to be sure to destroy the guy, because maybe I would have been I would have struggled penetrating him with regular shells. Now we are against the PTA. We went from 1v4 to 1v3. Can we maybe sneak a last shot on the PTA? No, unfortunately we can't yet. So I want to take cover. I want to take cover because I'm expecting them to... They already know where I am, and they're already... They're coming my way. I should have gone behind the hill, but I did something stupid. I did something stupid here because I thought at the very last moment, hey, I'm going to take back the position I was in, and maybe it's going to brain them. But I remembered, nah, you know what? WT is probably going to come for you. If you do that, you're going to die. And by this delay of reflection allowed my my enemies to take advantage of me. Here, I did a couple of mistakes at the end because I was a bit stressed and I didn't sleep a lot. So yeah, here, luckily the WT is missing his shot. I can finish the SU easily with a heat shell to be sure to penetrate him. Now I'm thinking I need to kill the PTA. I'm gonna take care of the WT after, but I need to kill the PTA. I try a blind, not a blind shot, but a quick shot on him. No, I can't. I try second time, unfortunately, WT came and just destroyed me. That's how it is. You can't win all the games. So yeah, that was it for this review. Hope you learned how to play the tank. Hope it convinced you maybe to buy it back or to buy it directly, because it's an extremely good tank once you know how to play it. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget that you're not here to be better but to be the best. Pantoufleee, over.